Extreme outer limits, baby. It's just gotta be extreme.
Woo! I worked for that one.
Extreme Outer Limits is presented by Night Force Optics. Precision optics for precision shooting.
Well, we're opening up another episode out here at our Star Valley Outfitters camp to a lot of snow. It has been a dramatic weather change over the last 48 hours. You know, this year in camp, I've had the fortune of kind of lining my schedule up with a couple guys, and we've had a couple really good hunts so far, and I have one more with a gentleman by the name of Kurt. He's actually from the same town that I grew up in. So anyway, we are setting out on our first morning of his hunt. We've got about 6 inches of snow. We're below one of my favorite spots out here. It's actually where I killed a buck running across the boulder field some years ago, and it's just one of my favorites. But we're gonna start to slowly hike. We're gonna follow this ceiling up, and we're gonna try to get up in this bowl and hit the whole spot and scope and the binos and try to turn up a buck. So should be a absolutely epic hunt with all this snow on the ground. Stay with us. How you liking the air at 9,500?
95?
That's where we are right here.
Feels like 19.5.
Yeah. Well, let's just follow these. We're literally, like, it goes like this, and then it's that huge. So we probably just want to get to where they are and just sit down. We're tired of sitting in the fog, so we dropped down and found ourselves a little wind shelter. Gonna make a fire and hang out for a few hours, and hopefully this fog will lift so that we can maybe head back around to where we were and get in there where those bucks should be, but we'll see. We'll just camp out and give it some time. Little bucks. There's one way over there though. No, fork and orange, 2 points. Little 6 point.
After the storm passed, the crew searched over the snow-covered landscape, but were unable to locate any shooter bucks before dark.
This segment is brought to you by the Night Force 5-25 by 56 Enhanced ATAC-R Rifle Scope. Features a lightning-fast 30-minute per revolution zero-stop turret, a 34mm tube allowing for 120 minutes of adjustment, and ED glass producing brilliant images in exceptional color contrast. Extreme Store presents the Ready to Hunt Rifle Series. Includes a new MOA rifle, custom-loaded ammunition, sight-in and validation work done over 1,000 yards. Complete and ready for the field. Visit extremestore.us for current inventory.
We are off to an epic morning if we were elk hunting. There's a lot of elk that just come through that draw. When they were first feeding before the second herd met with the first herd, there was 3 bucks mingling with them, but there was no shooters. A few does down here, another doe up there. I'm hoping that the elk don't have the deer buggered off into the trees or whatever, but pretty exciting. One nice herd bull coming right down through here, pushing a whole bunch of cows. So no shortage of elk this year. Everywhere we look when we're looking for deer, we're finding elk. Every draw. It's a crazy year for elk. Well, Brian's found another one. I'm kind of going to slow down here because Kurt's got to get his gun. Oh my God. That deer's 200 inches. Put it right on his back and smoke him. He's gonna come out right in that small bucket. Here he comes. There he is. Yeah, it's 195 inch deer. That's a group of bucks. And there's a deer in it that rivals a lot of deer that we see. True 30-inch heavy horn, giant forks. You know, something getting near that 190-200 mark. They came up through here. There's a big roll of rocks. So we're catching our breath and we're going to sneak up on this roll, and I'm hoping that they're just in this other side.
After the group of bucks disappeared over the skyline, the group made their way up and over into the next basin, but they were unable to relocate the giant buck. Upon returning to their original vantage point, they found a buck Kurt wanted to shoot. Unfortunately, his bullet didn't find its mark.
This segment of Extreme Outer Limits was brought to you by the Extreme Shooting School, hosted by Bob Beck, an information-packed 2-day class. For more information, go to ExtremeOuterLimitsTV.com. Extreme Outer Limits is also brought to you by G7, Grip and Pull, Night Force MOA 1000 Rifle Scope, MOA Rifles, Night Force Optics, and Burger Bullets. This segment is brought to you by the Extreme Store. For all your brass, bullet, and ammunition needs, head to extremestore.us.
Hi there, I'm Bob Beck, the owner of Extreme Outer Limits and Star Valley Outfitters. I want to take this opportunity to chat a little bit about the most frequent asked questions about acquiring a tag and the hunts that we conduct at Star Valley. First, we'll talk about the hunts. We are primarily a mule deer and an elk hunting operation. We do offer black bear hunts, but they're by opportunity, as that tag is a quota-based allocation. So for the mule deer and the elk, the hunts start in the month of September. Now we offer archery elk as well as rifle elk, and rifle only for the mule deer. Now how we can conduct the hunts is in the month of September. We start our mule deer hunts around the middle, September 15th. This is a great opportunity for bucks that are just a few days out of velvet. They're high above the tree line, laying in the big open basins. It gives the guy an opportunity to look over a lot of deer to try to find a giant. The archery elk hunts typically happen in the Timberline, and those are done either by archery or later on we can actually combo in 2 specific units out of our camp to go ahead and do those hunts with a rifle, either rifle elk, or go ahead and combo it up as a rifle elk and deer combo. From there we move into October, where the elk start coming out of the rut, and then they start feeling the influence of snowfall and weather, inclement conditions, and they want to migrate out. So this changes the game entirely and goes to a primarily glassing game, where we're trying to pick bulls that are bacheloring up or leaving the herds and trying to find a big bull and get him dead. Now, Wyoming is a preference point draw state. So what I mean by that is acquiring a tag is not as simple as buying it over the counter. So we have to play the preference point game. Now, we are happy to assist you in doing so. So let me take a minute and explain, starting at the calendar year, how we go about acquiring our tags. So the month of January is the elk application period. Whether it's archery or rifle, in the month of January, you're going to go ahead and apply for your elk license. From there, in March, they will draw those licenses. The deadline for deer is typically the middle of the month of May. So that gives you all of those months from January to May to apply for the deer tag, which in turn draws in June. So at that point, we have a elk application period in January, a draw in March, a deer application period from January to May, draw in June. In the month of July is when the state will open up to purchase a preference point, which will be applicable for the following year. They have a non-resident general and a non-resident special tag allocation. So by purchasing a preference point in the month of July and setting your hunter profile up, and then going to the January of the following year, it allows us to carry that point forward and go into the drawing with 2 points with a non-resident special with preference point. By doing so in our area, that generally guarantees an elk license. Now the deer can be a bit more difficult depending on the region that we want to hunt, but the same principle applies. July is the time to purchase your preference point, guys. We've got to do it. So again, elk, mule deer, rifle, archery, any hunt you want that we can take you on, please feel free to get a hold of us for a consult. We'd be happy to help you through it. For more information, go to StarValleyOutfittersWY.com.
This segment of Extreme Outer Limits is brought to you by Benchmark Barrels, the rifle barrel of choice for long-range hunters, competition shooters, and sport shooters worldwide. Ask for one on your next rebarrel or custom rifle build. This segment of Extreme Outer Limits is brought to you by Kestrel Ballistics Weather Meters, the perfect match of long-range ballistics and environment. Get precision aiming solutions for your gun, your load, and your shot.
4x4. Back on top where we was deer hunting the other day. First thing, saw a couple deer, one small 4x4. Just waiting. We're gonna have to look these mountains over real good. They're laying down tight.
During a short midday break, Kurt was able to locate a buck just below their position.
What I did is I walked right up here, walked over by that tree in the shade, and he's right below there.
Keep going, keep going. He's still running, keep going. He's going down.
That's when you gotta shoot. I never saw him when you first shot, but
I just saw him looking straight at me. I never saw him from the side. Thank you.
You did it. It was
No,
all
I know.
you.
I know.
It was all you on that one.
Thank you very much.
You did good. That's a good shot.
I told you I thought something lucky was going to happen today, right? It didn't happen first thing, but it happened. And the good news is he's not in the middle
Kurt
of a
spotted
steep
it.
side hill.
We came over the hill, and he saw it again. I was back, and I didn't see it. He took the shot. Then I saw the second shot, and hit it low. Went down the hill quite a ways. 285 that last shot, and he just dropped it.
Here we are on day 4 of my trip, and got a mule deer and an elk tag. Got 2 days left to go, so we were doing some glassing, and I poked my head over a ridge line, and there he was standing. And if you can believe it, I didn't have my gun in my hand, so I had to run back and get it. And he waited for me and took a shot. And happy as punch.
Well, we've seen some good deer. You know, we've had some good opportunities. He's a pretty nice deer.
He's everything I was looking for. I have had a great time here. We've had some seriously extreme experiences chasing deer and elk the last few days, haven't we? Having a great time on the horses, and the country there's nothing more pretty. It's a once in a lifetime trip for me.
Nice job.
Thank you.
You spotted it. You did it all on your own. You're the man.
Yeah.
You don't need a guide.
Today was the day. It said something lucky, something good's gonna happen today, and this is it. So I couldn't be happier.
Want more long-range hunting info? Be sure to check out the all-new Extreme Outer Limits podcast for long-range hunting tips and insights. You can find new episodes on iTunes and Podbean starting October 1st. Star Valley Outfitters, now owned and operated by Extreme Outer Limits, is one of Wyoming's premier hunting locations, offering opportunity on trophy elk, bear, deer, and moose. For more information, go to ExtremeOuterLimitsTV.com. Extreme Outer Limits is also brought to you by McMillan Stocks, Benchmark Barrels, Kestrel Ballistics Weather Meters, Lapua Brass, passion for precision, and Vitavuri Powder, the power of accuracy.